Everyone always says community college is the smart choice. You save money, you stay close to home, and it's easier. But nobody really talks about what it's actually like being here. I feel like a lot of people talk about community college, but not actually from a day to day experience. I'm not necessarily saying it's bad, but it's definitely not what a lot of people expect it to be. So I'm 19, I'm in community college right now, and I'm kind of in that phase where I'm just trying to figure everything out school, work, and actually what I want to do with my life. And I feel like since I came here, everybody made it seem super simple. Like just go to community college and save money, then transfer. But I'm a first gen, and it was really complicated for me to even start community college. One of the biggest things is it can really feel isolating. Like when people obviously think of universities or even college, I think of campuses, people hang out, making friends, and all that stuff. But community college isn't really like that. I mean, most people just go to class and then leave. They have no business talking to you. Like I've always had days where I go to class, sit there for an hour, and maybe talk to someone for like 10 seconds and just leave. And that was basically my quote unquote college experience for the day. Most people, including myself, just go to class and leave. Nobody's really staying around, nobody's really trying to socialize, and people just have shit to do other than class. You kind of have to go out of your way to make connections, and if you don't, it can feel like you're just doing everything alone. And another thing, staying motivated is actually way harder than I expected. Because you really don't have that college environment pushing you. Like, there's no big campus energy, no one's grinding around you, it's just kind of like on you, you know what I mean? And if you go to work too, it's even harder. You go to work, you go to class, you come home, and you just kind of just fall into this routine where you're not really pushing yourself, and it just kind of makes you feel like a zombie at that point. And because of that, it's really easy to fall behind in a lot of classwork. And your professors. Professors kind of expect you to be independent, and I'm sure that's like that for most universities, but hella independent in community college. Nobody's really checking up on you like that. It's already hard making friends enough, and the professors usually are just trying to just do their job. And the crazy part is nobody really talks about is people think community college is like quote unquote easy, but your GPA still matters a lot, especially if you're trying to transfer. So you can't really afford to slack, even though it does feel more relaxed. And I'm not gonna lie, people definitely underestimate community college. There's this idea that it feels less serious or it's just easier, but in reality, you're still taking real classes, still working towards your future. So, I mean, of course, it's not a joke. If anything, I feel like it takes more discipline because you don't have the same structure or environment university has. But at the same time, of course, it's worth it. Financially, it's probably one of the smartest decisions you can make. So, especially if you're a transfer, you save a lot of money. So, I don't necessarily regret it, but I just wish people would be more honest about community college. Because for me personally, it just feels like I'm in this weird in between stage. I'm not really in that full college life, but I'm also not ready for the real world yet. But I also just think it's a part of the process. Another thing nobody also talks about is just the pressure to transfer. Like everyone tells you just go to community college and transfer, but they don't really know how much that actually depends on your grades and actually tell you how to do it. And social media doesn't really help either. You're either seeing people at big universities going out and having fun and partying and shit, and you're at home like, God damn, what am I doing with my life? And I think that's the reason why a lot of people drop out of university as well, is because either they're really working hard, like more than 30 hours a week, and doing class at the same time, like 4 to 5 classes. Shit gets rough, you know? And it's really easy just to give up on community college. And I've even thought about it multiple times, especially when you're doing prerequisites and you're feeling like none of this actually matters, just because you're not in an environment to push you, like I said earlier. One thing I didn't realize is how much you actually have to create your own structure. Like, nobody's really telling you what to do day by day or what assignments you have due. You don't really have a packed campus schedule. You don't have that environment constantly reminding you that you're in school either. So it's just kind of difficult trying to remember that, hey, I actually go to school. So if you don't build your own routine, things can fall apart pretty quickly. Learning how to manage your time, stay consistent, and actually hold yourself accountable to things is a skill by itself. And if you do have that skill, you should be proud of it. And if you are going to community college, just a reminder, you are enough. I've struggled with that issue so much in community college where I felt like I wasn't doing enough. Because when you first start out, I wasn't doing major classes, and I'm sure most people that go into community college obviously are more focused on their prerequisites. And that kind of caused me to feel like I had no idea what I wanted to do, even though I'm really passionate about what I want to do. And if you're trying to look into getting into community college, try to stay away from online classes. You're going to do yourself a favor, I promise. There's nothing wrong with them, but personally, I felt like I wasn't doing enough when I was doing online classes. It's also the feeling of just being home around your parents all day and then all you have to do is just open up a laptop. And when they see that, they probably think like, oh, they're just being lazy. In reality, you're working like on 3 hours of classwork. And you may or may not relate to me, but I just don't like being around my parents all too much. And the fact that you're staying home doing classes and you come back home from class or you're doing online class and they're still right there, usually it's kind of bothersome. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to go to community college. You can absolutely pursue a career and get your prerequisites out of the way, but you actually have to prepare yourself for class, social life, and your connections that you make along the way. But yeah, that's pretty much my experience and my advice for anybody that wants to go to community college and anybody who's just watching the video in general. But like I said before, I really don't regret going to community college. But if I was a senior trying to decide where I wanted to go, I'd probably pick university 9 times out of 10. But the reason why I say that is because I'm okay with being in debt for education. And obviously I support, education being free, but we don't have that, so yeah. And if you disagree with me, that's completely fine, and I don't understand why, but this is just my perspective and, my advice on the matter. But that's going to be the end of this video. I really enjoyed making this video. I honestly just love talking in general. And I'm going to be talking about random shit in the future, so stay tuned if you enjoyed the video, but other than that, please do not goon, please do not be lazy, please do your classwork. Reminder for my future self and you as well.